Thanks for keeping it right here on Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural. This guy here is called Will Nass. Will Nass, that's who he is. And let me ask you something. Do you think he could read a score by Mozart? Of course he couldn't. Unless he's a music major. You know, I can kind of look at a score and I can see what's going on, but it takes a special individual as a conductor to be able to look at a score and kind of see what's happening. I can sort of do that. If it's my own music, I definitely can do it. But if it's like, if you get, let's say, Mozart's Ninth Symphony, unless you are educated in that realm and a person really studies and has that gifting, because a conductor sees a score and sees the orchestra. That's why it's a gift. I doubt Lil Nas can read anything musical. So we talked about this on Friday. The soles of these shoes contain real human blood, and only 666 pairs are being sold for $1,018 each. It's just unbelievable. You can see the little pentagram on the face of the shoe. So let's look at what Lil Nas did over the weekend. First came invoking Aztec war gods. Now it's Satan sneakers with human blood. Is America okay? Lil Nas X. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry I didn't get his nom de plume correct. Lil Nas X says children are his core audience before releasing music video giving Satan a lap dance, selling shoes made with human blood. So here we go. Somehow this is okay. Okay? Somehow we want to give our children this. But not Dr. Seuss. We can't, because Dr. Seuss is racist. But we can't have Dr. Seuss, but we can have Lil Nas X doing a lap dance for Satan. I mean, are you serious? Are you serious? Unless the pastors, and pastors, if you're listening to this, a lot of you guys out there, run with this stuff. You got to show your people. You got to show your people what's going on. You really do. You need to educate your people. You know why? Because if you don't, at some point in time, you won't have a church service anymore. Oh, don't think so? Remember what happened with COVID-19? Everything was shut off. In California, there are still churches which are not meeting because of the lockdowns here. It's happening, folks. You got to understand it's happening. And I find it depressing and alarming that pastors are not standing up and exposing this type of tripe, this type of nonsense to their people. We need to understand. Look, I'm hot under the collar here, but I need to be. What should happen, all right? What could happen, a better way in church. You have the front row turn to the second row, and they pray together. They break up into small groups. And the pastor stands up and shows what we're going to pray about right now. And let's say he shows this picture. He shows 2 or 3 things, and then the congregation comes together and prays against this. But we don't do that. You know, we do our little 4 or 5 songs and our little meet and greet, and then, you know, blah, blah, blah. We read the morning announcements. Don't forget Aunt Betty, the potluck this Wednesday with Aunt Betty's special bean salad. You better come early because that bean salad goes really quick. I mean, seriously, folks, we are at war. Do you understand that? We are at war. With this kind of nonsense going on, we are at war. Pastors should stand up, right, after the time of worship. And instead of just jumping up and start reading the announcements after worship, why can't we just sit still in the presence of the living God and invite him in and see what he does? Why do we jump right into the stupid announcements? Who cares? Let me see. Holy Spirit ministering to the people or the announcements? The announcements win again. And we wonder why our churches are so anemic? Come on, come on. What should happen, I'm offering a suggestion, pastors. What should happen, show 2 or 3 poignant clips like this, all right, after the time of worship. And now we're going to go into corporate prayer. Russ Dizdar harps on this constantly. The average church has less than a minute of corporate prayer. So you've got all these Christians coming together. What is our weapon? They're not carnal, are they? They're not carnal. Our weapons are prayer and the authority that we have in Jesus, our Messiah. Why can't the congregation come together and begin to pray against this kind of stuff? You tell me. UFO metal mystery material allegedly stored by Pentagon is not from this earth. We've talked about this. I think that's rung number 4 or 5 on the ladder of disclosure. That's what's happening. That's Luis Elizondo. It is happening. This again, Marco Rubio. Rubio's unsettling warning. Okay, this is Marco Rubio. This isn't L.A. Marzulli 15 years ago, 30 years ago. This is Marco Rubio. Remember, folks, I've been warning against this for decades. You understand that? For freaking decades. Rubio's unsettling warning: UFOs are flying over U.S. military bases. We have no idea what they are. In one of our Watchers films, I believe it's either 7 or 8, we sat down with Robert Salas, who was at one of these bases, the Maelstrom base in the Midwest. And he talks about this 60-foot craft hovering over the gate, and it shut down all 9 missiles in the silos, intercontinental ballistic missiles. The UFO shut down all the missiles. And Salas comes on the record. He's very emotional when he talks about it. And by the way, we had the first interview with him. Now, of course, since then, other production companies, and that's fine, took that and ran with it. But ours was first. We were the first people that Salas trusted with the information, and we told him. The late director of the Watcher series, Richard Shaw, and myself promised Robert Salas that we would show him the rough cut of the edit of the interview to make sure that we had his sign off his approval. In other words, he was able to say, you know, I like it, or, you know, I don't like this part here, you're twisting my words. He gave it a 2 thumbs up. We didn't have to do anything because Richard was extremely fair in the edit process. But the bottom line is this, folks: something is going on. Something is going on. And it's only UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. And at some point in the not too distant future, I predict that we will see real footage of the United States government walking into a crash saucer and showing, here's the UFO, here are the alien bodies, and they'll be talking about them. But the coming great deception, it is happening. I love this. Just a little humorous. Take us to your leader. Never mind. So, look, I don't rejoice in Biden's decline. I don't rejoice in that. We need to pray for Biden. You know, I don't like his ideology. I certainly don't like what he stands for, and I don't like what's happening under his administration. But we need to pray for the man. We do. And because he has lost it, in my opinion. Anyway, folks, UFO disclosure of a 70-year cover-up. If you don't have the book yet, you have to ask yourself, why don't you have this book? You should get 10 copies and give them to everybody in your church, including your pastor. Your pastor needs to read this book. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a special this week, okay? We're going to do a special. Buy one, get one free. How's that sound? Why? Because I want you to get one and then give one to your pastor. He needs to understand what is happening. And if he gives you the, oh, you know, pat on the head thing, oh, that's yeah. Oh, I'm glad you believe in UFOs. You need to show him stuff like this. You need to show him Marco Rubio. And you need to have that so you can, you know, print it out so you can hand them the book along with, you know, 7 or 8 UFO clips like this or like this with Luis Elizondo. You need to show them what's going on. You need to wake them up. You need to wake them up. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching Politics, Prophecy, and Supernatural. By the way, you can go to our streaming site, streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net. Watch all 6 in the Amateur of the Nephilim series. 7 will be coming out shortly. There is a pre-sale, so save $5. But look, I love what I do. I give all honor and glory to the King for allowing me to have this much fun. As Rush Limbaugh used to say, more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. And I certainly am having it. We got to travel to all places unknown and talk about this. And number 7, it's lost civilizations. And that's what we explore. And I think you'll find that incredibly interesting. Thanks so much for watching Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural Report. We've got some really cool interviews coming up this week. More about that. In the meantime, we'll see you on the air or in the air.